Okay, so we were able to transfer the transmission over to the engine. We had to take a bunch of stuff off. We had to put some stuff on. We switched wiring harnesses completely. Some broken parts on the old harness, which is over there, and there was an extra sensor here in the oil pan. That harness didn't have it. I didn't know if it would interfere. I thought the same harness. They all clicked in and hooked in the same. Only concern I have is the throttle body here, which I can deal with in a little while. So what we're going to do today, I know I haven't shown you a whole lot, but it's a mess. So we're going to clean up, and then we'll get some more in tomorrow. It'll be quick for you guys. Same video, I bet, even. We'll see. It's the next day. We're gonna try to get her in. Ooh, I'm tired. And it was raining a little this morning, so I had to kind of wait out the weather slightly. So let's get her put back. We're gonna have a couple hurdles, more specifically right there. So we just need to be careful when we set it down. And we're gonna have to take the hood off this time. All right. You may not be able to see in there, but in order to get that bolt in that hole, I have to sneak my hand through here to the flywheel, thread that in a little bit, and then we get, oops, give you guys a clear view. Can you might be able to see that hole in the back. Then we use our ratcheting end wrench, put it in. All right, guys, we're gonna recap a little. There's a lot of things I haven't shown you, sorry. So we got this line to hook up. Most of this is put back together. Both CV axles have been reinstalled on both sides. Over here, that motor mount had to go back. Piece of wood and a jack. You jack her up, get her done. I did all the underneath exhaust. You saw the flywheel bolts a little bit. I need to tighten that bolt in. I gotta finish putting the bolts for this on, reconnect this line. I already reconnected that line, the radiator, the front bumper, incidentals. Let's see what we can do today. Maybe get a little more. Yeah, the whole front's been put back on. Everything else has been pretty much put back on. We need tires to be put back on. I brought it down off the stand. The old oil filters there. We got the new oil filter right up there, and the oil's been drained out. We snuck the radiator fluid in through this hose mostly, and we got some back up in here. It's straight, so we're gonna add some water to that, and we're gonna look up our fluid capacities for our oil and hook the battery up. It's under the back seat. Alrighty. I'm gonna give you the side view, but the super dirty hat is on, and oil capacity is 7.5 quarts. So let me drop it in. We've got 530 full synthetic. You know it's gonna take at least this much, so our oil level, it says over full, but I put 7 quarts here. I gotta compensate half a quart for the filter. So let's go do something that I don't know if we're ready for yet. We're gonna see if the car starts. So let's just, all right guys, well, we were able to figure out why this thing wouldn't start, but we can't get it to start, which might be the crankshaft sensor. So I'll show you. It cranks no start. I know the fuel pump works, I know it's sending fuel. The ABS module underneath that had a wiring harness that clips into it wasn't fastened all the way, so it wouldn't communicate. You got to make sure all of the wiring harnesses are securely fastened. I even checked all the fuses and whatnot, and we were good there. Finally, we got to pull that part. This is the other engine, but we got to pull that part out of this one, and then the part that you saw was missing over there is actually in my toolbox. So got to put that one, we know it works, in here, because we have a situation right now where we're cranking and the engine isn't starting. So we've got to take emotional damage. This coolant line, EGR. Yeah, so we got to pull this vacuum line, we got to pull the fuel rail. Hopefully the Perry steering pump isn't in the way. We've got to take this off, pull the bolts for this off, pull the intake up, and it's right underneath this piece. We'll swap it out and put it back together and hope that it runs, because it cranks but doesn't start, which usually is a crankshaft sensor issue, and we're not getting any codes, but that doesn't mean much right now. So let's get to it.
Fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there. It's G.I. Joe against Cobra, the enemy, fighting to save the day. He never gives up. He's always there, fighting for freedom over land and air. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained Special Mission Force. Its purpose, to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization.
Yep. Be careful. Get your looker. So it's this piece. I think that's a 10 also. Easy, buddy. You gotta pull the safety clip back. Just pull her back like that. Push that down. The sensor comes right out. Just to show you, this other old one, that's the one that was in there. You ever lose something you had 10 seconds ago? All the time. Oh, my bad. Okay, obviously you want to click it back into place, push the safety lock back right here, and then put it back. It's good. Clean off our intake and we'll put it back. We'll be right back, guys. All right, y'all know the rest. Make sure your wiring harnesses don't get caught. I'll get back. My kids are mowing. Moment of truth, guys. Will it start? Please start. It wants to. Well, we got somewhere. I guess the next thing we're gonna need to do is pop the coil packs and swap them out and check the plugs. Okay, we're gonna try again. Part of it, so let's check the back, see where we're at. Okay guys, I got a surprise for you. Just wait 1 minute. The intake wasn't on straight. That piece had slipped its way underneath the bottom. I also know there's an electronic pedal control, and I swapped that. I swapped this piece because I was running compression checks on the cylinders, and the front cylinders were giving me at least 125, which is plenty fine. Then I checked all the plugs, replaced all the coils with the old ones, started swapping sensors. First it wouldn't crank, had to swap the crankshaft sensor, then it did. I don't know if this was it. It may have been. This may have been this all. I guess I could have probably programmed them, but yeah, I wasn't getting any throttle response at all, no matter what I tried to do. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a vacuum on the system, recharge the AC, run the car, make sure the coolant's full, check our levels on our transmission, shift it through the gears, make sure that we're at our correct fluid levels, put it back together, and I might give it back to my friend today if I am confident in its operation. So let's stop the car and we'll do a vacuum and a charge on the system. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to run a vacuum. I've got it set to vacuum. I've got it put on the recycle, and we've got this and that open, and we're going to pull the vacuum out of it. So you want to do that for like 20 minutes. Okay guys, there's a vacuum on both sides of the system. Both of these valves are now closed, even though those are open. So next we're going old school. I think we got that. Oh, like Foreigner, it's cold as ice. Oops, hit the trunk button. My bad. Don't need seated bodies in there. Alright, we're gonna let it get to operating temperature, run the code reader on it, clear everything out. Radiator looks good, trans fluid's good. We know the oil was good, we checked that earlier. So we're running. Air condition is cold, temperature is about half. It's probably where we want it. Let's run our code reader on it. Let's watch her. Sorry, we cut mid-scene, so let's go through the list. I'm more interested in this because electronic brake control module failure, invalid serial data received. Okay, so let's check this. Engine misfire, cold start. Okay, so we're gonna report it, save it, exit, DTC report. So that's what we got. Okay, we're gonna clear them all. The door switch failure is because I got that. Passenger door switch failure, driver's door switch failure. Not sure what's on with the passenger switch thing, but other than that, we're good. So we're gonna clean up and take it back to Rich. We got our fluids here, I'll show you. Oh, a little bit. The one I really want to make sure you know about is this trans fluid. So it's getting hot, so we're at the level now, because I had to put 6 quarts back in after the old drop and swap. So we're going to close it up. We'll call it a win. We'll have Richard tell us what's next if we have to go back and do some stuff. So Like and subscribe, everybody. Thanks for watching.